Hello and welcome into the Piles of Paragraphs creative space. I'm Lori and today I'm going to share with you the results of my tea dunk stage of the tea dunk journal that I'm making for July. So here we go. Hope everyone's had a good day and a chance to do something creative. I'm just kind of trying to get back into the swing of things after several days of not really doing creative things. But I did manage to get this done the other day, and so I wrapped everything up in, let's see, where's my version of my Franken paper. Just took a couple of really large pieces of, it's similar to what I call it, like old school paper, like the kind of writing paper that we had when I was a kid, many years ago, with the lines to help you practice your printing. It's two big pieces. One piece, of course, I tore a lot, but turned out pretty well. I used some packing tape on it this year to hold it up because the glue generally gives way. So got some interesting variations in color on the Franken paper, which really wasn't too Franken-y. Okay. Here's the cover. Here's the other bits. Let's go through the pages first. Hi, Dev. Okay. My kitty Devy's here to visit. Oh, get in the window, Dev. Yeah, get in the window. Go ahead and get in the window. Yeah. Sorry, she hasn't been here at all this morning, so. Hi, sweetheart. Yes. Get in the window, please, baby girl. Please don't jump up on my desk, okay? Okay. Yeah, get up in your window. Okay, well, I'm sure when I'm not paying attention, she's gonna come jumping up here, so let's see if I can try to block her a little bit and not sit too far forward because I have a tendency to push my papers off the screen here. Okay, so sorry about the interruption. Back to the task at hand. I took my pages and my extras and my covers and I wrapped them up very loosely in the Franken paper and some lace, and then weighed them down with rocks. Put them in my bin that I use for my tea and rust dyeing, and let them soak. So, and then I took them out and let them dry. So here we go. Some pretty good marks on a lot of them. Some of them, the backs are even more fabulous than the fronts. I think this is really fun. This will be a fun place to do some additional things. Here's a little, just a little thin receipt. It took the tea color pretty well. I had a piece sitting here, so I have a light spot, a little bit of rust marks. Not a lot on the back of this one because it stuck to the heavier page that was behind it. This time I had a lot of my stuff lift. I think it's because I soaked it in the hot tea longer than I did last time, like a little more than twice as long. And so I think I like the shorter soaks better, but we'll see for next time. And for most of it, I've gone back and glued everything down. This one, I kind of like the fact that it flips up and leaves this lighter spot here. So I'm not going to glue that one back down, I don't think. At least not at this point. There's the back of that one. This one got a lot of color. I don't remember where it was in the stack because some of them are much lighter than others. But this one, a lot of good color. And the back of this one, just absolutely one of my favorites. This is a little bit of saffron flowers. No, safflowers, not saffron flowers, but safflowers. And they gave a really cool, there's a little bit of yellow and kind of a pinky red tint, which came from those as well, which I wasn't expecting, so that was really fun. Another one, got a couple of good rust marks on this one. The back of this one's fabulous. I don't know if I do anything, I might do just a tiny little, like a cluster or something on the back of that one. Here's another one of the invoices. The back of this one got a bit more color on it, not a lot. This one must have been towards the center because I think a lot of the center didn't necessarily get good and tea dyed, but which is nice. I like the variety. Here's a die cut butterfly that I used, and I think the back of this one's very interesting because it was sitting on one that had color paper flowers on it, little die cuts, and it's interesting because I think it's interesting because the color kind of leaches out, and marks the adjoining pages. So I think that's really fun. See, this one got quite dark, which is interesting, but not the text. So I think that must have been the part that oh, I know. Yeah, probably where I had the rock sitting, because that's about the same size as the rock. Next time I'll have to make sure I move the rocks around a bit more. This one had the invoice stuck to the back of it, so there's a lot of real estate there to decorate. This one got quite grungy, although the photograph stayed nicely. The pretty flower in my little circle here went completely away, so it's just a little bit of color left, and a nice grungy key mark there. And this one has another great back. This is so fun. And I should probably just do some plain pieces and see if I can get some more patterns like that. Here's my dragonfly. The back of the dragonfly turned out really great. The top of the dragonfly must have gotten scooted forward in the packet, and so it got kind of dog-eared. But that's fun. Although I don't think the dragonfly made a print on whatever was next to it, and I had hoped it would. This one, I didn't think all of the writing would go away, but I think it's kind of interesting that it's faded now, and then we have this couple down here, so it's kind of like a faded memory sort of idea. I like the back of this one too. We have a kind of ghost person there, which I think came from this die cut on this page. And a great, let's see, you see a great key print. A little bit too far, aren't I? There we go. Sorry. A great key print here. I am fortunate to have really some fabulous rusty bits. And then here's another one that has an interesting bottom. This will be kind of fun to do a collage in that, I think. And here's another one where the center didn't get soaked, but I got a good nail mark there, and probably a washer there. The back of that one came out, I think, quite interesting. And here's one where this whole bottom part didn't get very dark, but I can always add more to that. Yeah, this one had the invoice stuck to the back of it. This is interesting because the washer that I had put here slipped over and perfectly obscured her face. So that was something I didn't expect. I do love the back of this one though. Oh, this is the one where the little circle was, and then I've got a couple of because I need to have even pages, I think, for the way I'm going to bind this one. So I got a couple of more pages, a couple of more things I'm going to use as pages. So let's set those off to the side and kind of go through the additional bits here. I did the guest checks, and this guest check I had in between paper. Let's see, I think it was inside maybe this one. I just wanted to see. No, it was inside this one. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to see how it would do, and I had the rusty bits on it, so I picked up the rusty bits and a little bit of color, but not overly tea-dyed. This one turned out really cool on the inside and the outside. Picked up some. Look at that key mark. I love that. I do love the keys. Another little guest check, and this one got some nice color on the back of it. Then I had just one little piece of ivory fabric that was in my bin that I just went ahead and re-dyed, and a couple of vintage tickets that didn't take a ton of color, but a little bit. And then here's the another guest check, and I used some of that heat-resistant tape. I think that's what it's called. And before it went into the tea dye, it looked like old sellotape, and now it's just really bright yellow. So I don't know if I really like it or not. I may come back and take that off, but look at the back of this one. Absolutely love the way that came out. And this is those little safflowers, and then some bits from my Purple Rain tea. And then I tossed in just a couple pieces of lightweight cardstock, and I got a little bit of color on those. And then I thought I'd toss in a couple of kind of glossy book pages. And these turned out really quite well, other than the fact that I set them on top of something with I think it was a big bolt, and so that has a hole in it, but that a little more character. But it did take the shine down a little bit, and you still get to see the flowers, and then the rust marks are nice. This one too. Apologize if you can hear the yard guys outside. Of course, you know, here they are today when I'm trying to do my videos. They are making as much noise as possible. I slipped in just a couple more pieces of the graph paper. I'm really surprised that the graph paper didn't, the blue didn't fade more than what it did, but maybe it didn't get good and wet, which is kind of a nice thing because it maintains the grid and still picks up some color. And then here's another just a book page that I did because I wanted some extra bits. And see, so you have it folded, and then the inside doesn't really get much of any color, but the outside gets great color, just because it doesn't get in. And then this one, like the other one, oh yeah, this is where the guest check was. And another piece of book page. Once again, no color on the inside, not much on the back of this one either. Must have been in tight. So there are those. And then here's my covers. Let me tell you, this one didn't get tea. Let me get a sip of my coffee. Sorry. The yard guys stress me out, and my voice gets all tight, and I can't speak properly. So this is an interesting piece here, and truly, I think I would rather use this as my cover, but this piece tore. There's my front cover, and so this piece tore, so it's like, well, no, I don't think I will. So I think this is how the cover is going to be. The insides turned out, pretty cool. I'm happy with the prints that I got on these, and I am happy with the rust marks that I got. And then I also put some die cut flowers in the bottom of my Frankenwrap packet, and so they lifted color more than left color, but I thought that was kind of interesting too. This was kind of a large piece of metal that I picked up somewhere. It's like it's just a flat oval of iron, and it took color away rather than leaving color, so I always find that quite interesting. So there we go. Here are the bits that I dyed, and now to decide how I want to bind this. And I have gone back and forth. Hopefully you saw the video I did last time where I showed you the one I made last year. Originally thought I was going to do it the same way, and I probably will do it similarly. I had another idea, but I think that one might not work, and I don't want to have it not work on this big a project. I'll do that on a smaller project and see if it'll work first, which is, I was thinking about putting some fabric tabs down here and then stitching, you know, having that be the binding. But the thing is, then this won't lay flat, I don't think, with that. And I think I want this to be one that lays more flat. So anyway, hopefully by the next time you see this, I will have figured out how I want to bind it, and I can show you that process, or at least parts of that process. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't. Little channel is growing. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers, which is a big deal for me. I've worked really hard to get there, and I would like the little channel to continue to grow. And please leave me a comment. I would love to hear what you think about this project. Even if you don't like it, I would like to hear about it. I think it's great fun. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I'm a bit of a mad scientist when it comes to my projects. Sometimes I get really excited about trying new things and the unknown and that kind of stuff. So anyway, once again, thank you for joining me today, and I will say bye-bye for now.